Okay. Is there audio? There won't be for a second. I fucked up. I fucked up. I wish this Streamlabs would like connect with Rumble already.
There you go.
There we go. All right. Tell your friends we're back. Tell your friends we're back.
Just fell in the bedroom.
Did it?
Yeah, I just heard something fall.
You want to go check it out? With the gun? Ah. Guys, can I tell you, I am really fed up with censorship. I am so fed up with this. I'm like, I don't even care now. Like, I'm so over it. I don't even want to stream anymore. Like, what has this been, an hour? It's been 40 minutes. 40 minutes trying to fuck with this shit. All because I said some no-no word right in the beginning of the last stream and I had to reboot every goddamn thing. Like, this is ridiculous, all right? Go tell your friends. Thorne's back on YouTube now. If you can find people, just let them know. If you know anybody, just let them know I'm back.
I'm going to put it in Discord.
Yeah, they took a giant shit. So... Oh, Asian kid, that's not good to hear. Well, tell Wyatt we're pulling for him. I hope he comes out of it. I don't know what's going on with the kid, but we do care about him. Hopefully he's all right. So it looks like we managed to get basically censor banned for about, like, how did I make it? 5 minutes into my video? So it was in 5 minutes they decided to shut me down. I didn't even say anything. I literally was just warning you that I was going to say something. And their algorithm, I believe, automatically started throttling me. So this madness that we're going through, it's kind of reaching its peak. That's why I keep saying peak rational madness, threshold imminent. The joke is like, we're about to reach the maximum level of madness you can get before you start becoming so irrational that it's like, it's ridiculous with this stuff. I'm not going to lie, that took the wind out of my sails a little bit because I've kind of lost track of what I was even going to talk about. I don't even know what the fuck I was starting to say. And it looks like we lost pretty much everybody that was here before, at least half of you. So if you're back, please let me know you're back, especially if you were on the other stream and it knocked you out. I am tempted to try Rumble again in the future, but at this moment, this is why I haven't been using Rumble, because even though it's a good alternative in terms of censorship, it's still kind of potato tech. And potato tech can be a giant pain in the ass. So unfortunately, I don't know what to tell you. I have a pretty powerful computer. At least it was when I bought it 2 years ago. It's kind of like above average right now. Like, what are we up to? Like, I have a 3080 for my graphics card. So that was brand new a couple years ago. I think we're up to 40s now. So it's no longer top of the line, right? But it's pretty up there. I've never had a problem. You guys see how often I stream. I stream every week. And it works flawlessly all the time. It only fucks up when I say something that Agent Smith doesn't like. Or when it thinks I'm going to start saying something it don't like. They can tell now. They have the systems to do that. Now, one of the reasons this is happening is because the Matrix is dying. When I say the Matrix, I don't mean some computer program, although computers are part of it. I'm not talking about, see, that's the problem people have with the Matrix. They treat the Matrix as a literal story when it's an allegory. And it's an allegory that is applicable not just to mundane things about society, but spirituality as well, and vice versa. The Matrix fights back. And there are people that will fight for the Matrix because they don't know any better. They don't want to give up what they love. I don't want to make this about the Matrix, but I just want to point out to you guys that the Matrix is falling apart right now. So this is what's going on. They are paranoid. I've sort of lost my vibe. I almost don't give a fuck. I just want to like sit here and fucking play video games right now. I'm not kidding you. Because honestly, what I say doesn't matter right now. Let me make a point, okay? You guys probably know what I'm going to say. You know how I'm going to fucking react to the shit that's going on right now. You know damn well what the state of the world is. If you don't, pull your head out of your fucking ass and start looking. Sorry, YouTube, I cursed in the first 10 minutes. Sorry. Pull your head out of that place where the sun doesn't shine. Wake the hell up. Now. Sorry, using dad voice on strangers isn't really a good thing. But really, it's time. You all have to say enough is enough. I'm struggling here to stay on YouTube because that's where everybody is. I know a lot of you guys have moved to Rumble already. But Rumble, unfortunately, is still potato tech. It still needs to be upgraded. It's still a pain in the ass to get it to work. And I'm not a schlub with technology. I know what I'm doing. All right. So, the main topic for tonight is not spirituality. The main topic for tonight is the situation at the southern border, the escalation, and everything else that we're seeing. I consider most of you guys informed enough, open-minded enough, conspiratorial enough to be capable of handling what we're about to talk about a little bit. And obviously, since YouTube is going to censor the living daylights out of me if I am not careful, because you notice what got me in trouble, right? What got me in trouble was I brought up a certain data point about the parent company upon which this video is being hosted having to surrender several thousand employees, and that their system, their search system, was proven to be, in a scientific manner, proven to be worthless for the purpose that it was designed. That is to say, as an engine upon which you can enter information to get other information, it is one of the worst. If you use Google, because I dare not say the word, you will find that none of your shit leads to anything that is useful unless it has something to do with big corpa, big pharma, big tech, big this, big entertainment. If you want to Google a term, especially if it is a term dealing with anything that the Matrix does not want you to see, it will immediately be slain by the dragon slayer that is the algorithm. And instead of getting the information that you wanted, you will get garbage. It has gotten so bad that it's easier to use ChatGPT if I have a research question. It used to be I had good Google foo. I used to know how to use search terms. They were easy. And I could be creative and get any information I wanted just by getting the right terms put into that thing. It was a skill set, and you actually, once upon a time, could get a job with that, by the way. It was considered an asset. Back in the early days of the internet, good Google foo was appreciated by your job, by your employer, if you were doing certain jobs. Now, I don't know how to get what I want outside of going to other search engines. Oops, sorry, YouTube. Sorry, I'm talking crap about the same platform I'm on. Now, just so you guys know, before I rebooted this stream, I made a little offering to my familiar, and I asked him to break through the blockage. So hopefully it will stay good now. So please tell your friends we're back on YouTube, okay? Just let them all know. Whoever likes to watch my stuff who's not here that you know, put it up on the Discord, put it up on Facebook, whatever. Let's try to undo the damage they did. By the way, Julie, I just saw your super chat. Thank you so much, Julie. Did you have a question associated with that? Let me see. Was there a question? Julie has been one of the most... No? Okay. Julie, I want to thank you. You've been one of the most true blue friends of this channel since I started. Okay? Everybody give Julie some respect because she didn't even ask for anything in return. She just wanted to give me a hookup with some money. I really appreciate that, Julie. All right. So what was I originally going to talk about tonight? How many of you guys are familiar with what's going down at the southern border? What's up, Area Trans? Good. Tell everybody. Somebody tell CM. Somebody tell the other people. Oh, Christian's here. Good. Hi, Christian. Hi, B grade. Anyway. All right. Let me go through the usual. Let's start over, guys. Goose Fraba. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's I, DH Thorne, your host of Live at 9, 10, 11 with DH Thorne. We're going to be talking about completely vapid topics that the YouTube algorithm will have no problem with. We're going to talk about video games and nerdy stuff. Maybe we'll talk about Satan and Lucifer and things that they don't care about. And we're definitely not going to talk about issues that have to do with Texas or what's going on right now. But let me say hello to everybody. We have B Great Anyway. He says, I hear ya. Jose Munoz says, hey, DH, long time no see. Yeah, I know. It was like a good hour. Malachi Odinson, what's up? Whoop, whoop. What up, bro? What's up, Malachi? Asian Kid, of course, talking about Wyatt. Hopefully he'll be okay. I know his parents. I don't know. I don't know a lot. He hasn't said that much to me about his parents. He has said enough. I know he's on the outs with his biological parents. I don't know about his guardians right now. But I also know Wyatt. He's got a willful streak, and this world is not been good to him in some ways, with some of that in terms of boundaries with parents and all that stuff. So I don't know what's going on. I hope the kid's all right, but tell him his friends do care about him here, and hopefully he comes out of this, whatever's going on. Yeah, it is what it is. We've all been there. Hopefully, I can't do much about it from here, but hopefully he's all right. Let's see. So we said hi to Julie. Maiden Liberty, success. That's right. Shrieking Violet says, that was exhausting. It was. Wizard of Oz says, hey, guys and gals. Okay, let's see here. Twisted Jack. What's up, Twisted Jack? Kelly Meadows, Heckalitusen. I can't even say Hecka. We're just going to call you Hecka, brother. Christian Heinekinian. Just Christian's here. What's up, Christian? He says, Nicodemus literally working their magic for the stream. It worked, didn't it? You guys don't believe me? Look, can you guys spot flesh blood on metal? Flesh, can you guys spot fresh red marker? Excuse me, fresh red marker. Can you guys see that? My lighting's a little pink, so it's probably showing up extra. See that? There you go.
We don't endorse hurting yourself.
That wasn't blood. That was red marker, guys. I would never, ever take this thing right here.
Very bad, children.
I would never be like, pop, and then, send a little message to my familiar and be like, hey, yo, would you mind helping me out here? It is a full moon. Would you mind? I can give you a little drop of my love and shoot some energy into your brother. You're probably hungry. I would never do something like that because all of that's bad for you. Don't ever do, literally never take something like this and then be like, hey, familiar, are you hungry? And give it to don't do that. That is like, oh, that is so bad for you. The New World Order would hate that. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. All right. We good? Good. I feel totally spazzed right now because I lost my place in my mind. If you have ADHD, there is nothing worse than losing your place. Let's put it that way. All right. Twisted Jack says, hail, Thorne, glad to catch. I am glad you are here as well, my friend. Now I get it. Jay Baldao says, one of my friends says he's seen visions of the aliens coming and shutting the government down. Depends on how you look at it. It's already happened. All right. So how many of you guys are familiar with what's going on down in Texas right now? Please give me a thumbs up or some sort of a up in the chat. Give me some sort of a nod. I want to get a head count a little bit so I know I'm not talking to people that don't know what the hell's going on. Because I will give you guys the groundwork if you need it. Do all you guys know what's going on in Texas as of right now and will happen tomorrow? Asian kids are kids, so they probably don't know. That's all right. That's all right, Twisted Jack. I'm just teasing you, brother. I feel you. All right. Now, I'm getting a good number of hands waving in the air. Thank you, guys. Keep them coming so I know. Christian says, oh, no, then I don't. He wants me to talk about it. All right, I will talk about it. Speaking of which, Christian, I know you and I should have a little powwow in video form sometime to see how much our perspectives have shifted. I am very curious to know if any of your perspectives have shifted in a direction that is more friendly to mine, we'll say. I will give Christian had, I'm not going to spotlight the guy too much, but Christian and I had a bit of a falling out a couple years ago. It was a giant divisive political misunderstanding in many ways. It was a learning lesson for both of us. I think we both learned massive, like how to be more mature about these things. Hopefully we both learned some lessons from that.
Big old shadow working.
Big old shadow working. I don't think necessarily either of us changed our opinions on that specific issue, but I think we learned how to better treat each other. And that's a big important step. So I am curious, Christian, how much of your opinions have shifted since then. Now, let me begin at the beginning. Everybody knows that there has been because we're on YouTube, I'm going to have to use Creole. There has been a crisis in which people who do not have the legal right to reside in a certain nation have been coming over to live here. Now, I want to be very clear from the outset. Being a libertarian, being liberal in that libertarian mentality, not woke, but definitely liberal in the libertarian sense. I absolutely adore the idea of a melting pot society in which many different cultures, peoples, etc. are welcome. Give us your tired, give us your homeless, all that good stuff. I agree with the principle completely. You will never catch me going, oh no, there are too many people who don't look like me here. I'm getting, uh-oh, bro, the sound. Is the sound bad? Camilla, how's the sound? Okay, Camilla's selling it because Camilla monitors my audio a lot, so she says it's good. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Julie. Just in case, let me know. I know it's like easy to be jumpy right now because they are throttling everything.
It's possible that something happened because I do have mine turned down a tiny bit so it doesn't echo.
Okay, good. I think, I'm even looking at the notifications. I'm not getting drop frames anymore. So whatever happened, they're laying off now. Whatever I triggered with my approach,
To be fair, it is like low quality video.
It is, right?
It's otherwise it seems fine.
Okay, because I have it on max quality. Like, yeah. But I agree with Made in Liberty, who just posted, I hate forced multiculturalism. Of course. You guys need to understand, before I even get into the border issue itself, you guys need to understand that the New World Order has been utilizing weaponized. All right, this is what they do. They destabilize the third world. They use it as a money pit to destabilize nations. They destroy the third world, especially where the brown people live. Then they blame us, especially if your skin tone happens to be my color, for the problem. Because they convince us decades ago we need to go and bomb this country because we were stupid. And besides, after 9/11, everyone's like, yeah, bomb everybody. Anybody who lived as an adult or a teenager through 9/11, there's no way after that event that you're not going to sit there and be like, yeah, bomb them all. Bomb every fucking inch of sand ever anywhere. Flatten, turn every grain of sand to glass in the Middle East. Every single one. Everybody with everybody was saying it. Okay? It wasn't a racist thing. So they got us to bomb these countries. They got us to destabilize the third world, as we call it, the third world. It's very dehumanizing, isn't it? I never loved that term, but what else can we call it? So they got us to destabilize and destroy the third world for the military-industrial complex. This created people who needed a better way of life, and we had that way of life, and so they all start coming here. And this is true for Europe as it is in America. Now, it's not a case of they just want to get rid of a people that has my skin color. They really just want to break down society and create a situation where you are dumb, you are desperate, you are easily controlled, you are divided, and there is no hope other than their system. So they've created this situation where our countries, be they in Europe or in America, are being invaded. And it is not the people's fault. I want to be exquisitely clear, because I don't look at this, at these poor souls coming over the border and going, you pieces of shit. No, they are victims too. These people are victims not of me, not of Donald Trump, like the media wants you to believe. They're not your fault. Nobody here listening to me, listen to me, please. You are not at fault for what's happening. The media has been gaslighting you. They have been manipulating you. They've been making you feel guilt for what they and their bosses are doing. They are making you the scapegoat. How many of you guys know who Azazel is, or Azazel, or Azazel? How many of you guys know what that is? How many of you guys know the mythology? Not just the book of Enoch. I'm talking about the Azazel goat. How many of you guys know about that? The scapegoat. The goat that takes all the sins upon it from the entire tribe. And then it is cast into the desert where the demon Azazel can get it with a red ribbon on it. You, my friends, are Azazel. Or I should say, you are the Azazel goat. You are the scapegoat. Every single one of you. Yes, even those of you who defend this system. Even those of you who agree with what they are doing, you are the scapegoat as well, because they're blaming you as if you did it. None of you are responsible for the third world's plights. None of you are responsible for their poverty. You didn't do that. You don't owe those people anything except the compassion that any human owes any human. You don't owe them any special treatment. They are not entitled to your labor, your land, your way of life. What they are entitled to, however, is justice. The people who are responsible must be held accountable. And it is not you. It is not me. It isn't Donald Trump. It is the system which has been in control and power for the last, I don't know how long, many years. But before any of us were ever even a thought in our mommy and daddy's minds. So, the New World Order, this is a word that, who the fuck are we even talking about? Who are we even talking about? The New World Order, so long as you're calling it the New World Order, they don't love it, but they are happy that you are doing it. Because they don't want you to know who it really is, and I cannot say with any clarity without getting all kinds of accusations hurled at me that are unfair, untrue, and unfounded. Because they have got the entire world twisted up. And I want to be clear, I am not specifically blaming any one group or any one individual group or any religion or anything, because it's not that. When you hear people go, it's the chosen people. No, it's not the people. It is these elite New World Order pieces of shit who are subverting humanity for their goals, and they're all bad. I highly recommend, as a single point of perspective, I don't agree with everything. I don't think that this man is trying to imply that it's all one group, but I highly suggest you watch one of the latest videos by Robert Sepper, The True Origins of Zionism, to understand one important feature. It is not the whole show. This is where we get into trouble very quickly, because people have been brainwashed and conditioned to associate any criticism with any segment of this group of people as if it is an attack upon all. It is not. And I will defend those people just as I have since I was a child. When I was a teenager, I got into a lot of fights with people who wanted to hurt my friends who happened to be of that persuasion. I got into a lot of scrapes. I do not play games with this. This is why I don't talk about it much, because it's very sensitive and people are not ready to understand. So we're going to leave that there, okay? Because I don't want to give the wrong impression. But I do want to be clear that you cannot excise them from the New World Order issue. If you do not understand that that is a reality that is part of it, and one of the most sensitive parts, because it is central to it. It is not the center, but it is central to it. It is one of the centerpieces. One of the central authorities involved are these groups of people. So I'm not attacking people. I am attacking a group, an organization within. I'm attacking a fanatical cult as part of this. But the New World Order is not any... Here's the deal you got to understand. These people are not operating from a perspective that you would find rational, most of you. Because most of you have some sense of human compassion for one another. Even if you're an asshole, most of you go, that's fucked up. And for a long time, these people have weaseled their way back into power after the Enlightenment era, after the beheadings in France. After all of that, the survivors of that revolutionary period are deeply involved, yes, but guess what? They're not the head of it at all. Now, those of you who happen to be left-leaning, you are not going to like. If you do a deep dive into history, you are not going to like the origins of that ideology. You're not. It's going to be very uncomfortable for you if you really do the deep dive into it. I don't mean what Marx said. You have to go further back. You have to look at the Illuminati. You have to look at Adam Weishaupt, the Rockefellers. You are not going to like it because it goes against everything you think. I thought it was Rockefeller. Rothschild. Yeah, Red Shields. I always do that. R and R. I fuck it up. Sorry, guys. My bad. I fucked. It's a dyslexia in the brain. It's not. But the Rockefellers are involved too, by the way. I shouldn't say. Allegedly. There are origins for this. And let me be clear, please. These people are not ideological communists. So for those of you who believe yourself to be communist, they don't represent you either, bro. They hate you. Because they're not actually communists. What they are people who understand that communism is one of the most powerful ways to centralize power. And I know there's different forms of communism. For those of you who are leftists, I want to be clear. I'm not attacking necessarily what you believe, even though I disagree with it very strongly. I don't consider it a moral failing on your part to believe in it. Those of you who are still my friends, I respect you, providing the source of your thinking is one that is somewhat libertarian in mind. It should be a voluntary scenario. It should not be a forced compulsory system. I don't like the fact that do you think I like this? This isn't capitalism. This is corporatism. You don't have a choice. Do I have a choice in paying taxes? Do I have a choice in any of this? No. I have to completely unplug from this system to even have a chance. And even then, I still have to pay some tax somewhere down the line. Let's say that's acceptable. Okay, I accept your taxes in exchange for what? A guarantee of inalienable rights, that you're going to protect them. Speaking of rights, let us talk about a gentleman that works as the right-hand man, the top lead advisor for Klaus motherfucking Schwab, a person named Yuval Harari, who will hide behind his certain background, even though he is completely atheistic and secular. But somehow you can't talk about him. This Harari character, if you listen to what he says, he is a genius. There is no question. He is wicked smart. But he is also a disgusting propagandist. I would actually enjoy a closed doors, off the record debate with a person like him. I think very quickly we would wipe away all pretense and I'd be like, I know what you stand for. You don't stand for what you say. You stand for the subtext under what you say. Recently, he came out with a talk saying human beings do not have rights. Rights are a fiction made up by people. Now, in a completely philosophical sense, everything's made up. Every rule, every law, every concept. And he says, rights are a very nice story. We may really like them and we may even want to uphold them, but there's no basis in reality for human rights. Do you understand the WEF does not believe that there is a origin or reason for human rights? Do you know that you can debunk that claim very easily? You know how you can debunk that claim very easily? The founding fathers of America were very wise. They said that human rights are bestowed upon us by our Creator. They were very clear. That's a very ambiguous term, Creator. Most people hear that and think they mean God. If you know the founding fathers, you know they weren't really all Christian. In fact, a lot of them were not. They were deists. They were Hermeticists. They were Masons and occultists and all kinds of crazy shit. Look it up. People don't like to know that because it's harder to see, because it's not as obvious, because they were pretty slick about it. They were in secret societies. But a lot of them had mystical, spiritual understanding. They didn't mean some deity going, you have rights because I said so. If that was the claim, Yuval Harari would be right. The actual origin and justification of human rights that cannot be refuted at all is that your rights, your freedom, was won by generation after generation after generation of human beings, your parents, your ancestors, struggling and striving, donating their blood, sweat, and tears, throwing themselves into the cogs and gears of the systems of their life to win your rights from them. You have rights because they earned them for you. End of discussion. That is like saying this country doesn't have a right to exist because God or something didn't give it to it. No, it took it. It belongs to it. It is a piece of property. Your rights are your property by virtue of your ancestors' blood, sweat, tears, cum, jizz, death, everything that they put into life. Because every single one of your ancestors would want you to be free. What is the point of their sacrifice if not for you to be free? Fuck these lying pieces of shit. They are unethical, disingenuous liars, and they want you to go to hell and be enslaved forever unto them. You note that they do not deny their own right to rule you. They claim that they have the right to rule you by virtue of what? Their money and their bullshit. And every one of these vapid, normie ass pieces of garbage running around who are willingly giving up their freedom, their authority, and their sovereignty to them because whatever reason, it's convenient, it's comfortable, it's just a little censorship. Guys, Twitter, XYZ, YouTube, they're their own corporations. They can do whatever they want, right? No, they can't. That's just it. They can't. They have to use color of law. They have to manipulate terms and semantics. They have to use disingenuous propaganda arguments to convince stupid people that it's fine to give up your rights because you can't personally come up with an argument why it's wrong. Because they dumbed you down from birth over the past 3 or 4 generations. Not to say that everyone was brilliant 80 years ago, but they taught you at least how to think a little better than what to think. You have to understand, I'm 46 years old. I'm going on 47. I went to school in the 80s. I finished high school in 95, barely on time because I couldn't stand the bureaucracy. I had ADD. I couldn't do it. I passed every test with an 80 or above, usually the high 90s. But I couldn't do my homework for shit because homework is like, you know, that's like, it's like getting your head cut off when you have ADD. ADHD. Homework is the worst. When you're done with school, you're done with school, man. That's how, nope. I did this all day. I'm not doing it for 3 more hours because I can't focus. Nope, bye. I got better things to do now. I learned your bullshit. Anyway, school is there not to teach you how to think. It's there to teach you what to think and how to fit into society, period. This is why every political party has made it a primary objective to retain control of the education system. This is why the right and the left in America fight over the scholastic system so hard. I like that. And unfortunately, some of these comments are not showing up on my feed now. Let me see. Oh, I'm on Top Chat. That's why. Duh. There we go. That's interesting. Be great anyway. Did you know that your comments are being filtered out if you put Top Chat on? Why does a chat system have a top chat when there's no way to boost a comment? Like, can you thumb it up? I guess you can, right? You can react to it. Do they have reactions? I never bother with the chat on here.
I don't know, but I mean, there's a heart and stuff, but I think that pops up on the video.
Yeah, like I can do the heart. Like I just did the heart.
I don't think you can do that on here.
Yeah. So be great anyway. Why do you think your comment isn't a top chat comment? But Maiden Liberty's by the way, I appreciate that, Maiden Liberty. Why is Maiden Liberty's a top chat, whereas Be Great Anyways isn't? Do you know why? Look at what he says. If the cabal has a right to rule, why do they have to achieve it through deceit and oppression? Open your eyes, boys and girls. Tell it to everybody you know. People go, Thorne, you're overreacting. No, you're underreacting. You're blind. I'm not stupid. I've been doing this for over 15 years watching these fuckers move. Anyone who tells you, that doesn't mean I have everything right, by the way. I'm perfectly willing to accept and concede. I get a lot wrong. That is not the point. I am teachable. I know I am wrong about a lot of things, but I'm not wrong about this. You see, when they created the internet, they were going to use it to put us into slavery forever, but it got away from them very quickly. They couldn't retain control over it because it was the Wild West. It was a libertarian environment everybody wanted in, and they couldn't control it. So what they did was they created social media. No, Maiden, I'm teasing you. You're good. I'm just making the comment that you put and that's considered a top chat, whereas Be Great Anyways intelligent comment is not. Guys, if you're watching the live chat, turn off live chat, click the little arrow, the little chevron. It's going to say live chat or top chat or whatever. Switch it to live chat instead of top chat.
That font is a little different. That I don't think she typed that in.
Oh, she didn't?
I don't think so. That might have been like an emoji that didn't come through or some shit.
Could be. Well, whatever it is, it didn't mind her chat. It didn't like B grade anyways.
Because that's all capital and it's very tiny compared to the rest of the letters on the screen.
Look at what B grade anyways been posting. I didn't see half of his comments. Why? What is the system? What is the Matrix? What does Agent Smith have against B grade anyway? Can anybody tell me? He's a free fucking thinker. That's the problem. We got one that can see. Fuck these people. How does that line go? Let me find this. Hold on. Let me recite this for you boys and girls. It was one of my favorite lines from Wrath of Khan, and of course it's from Moby Dick. Pretty sure it was Moby Dick. Yeah. No, I don't need somebody to frickin' videos. Get at it. Go to hell. Garbage. Wow, you can't even look at a quote without having to sign up for something. Here we go. Herman Melville, Moby Dick, or The Whale. To the last I grapple with thee. From hell's heart I stab at thee. For hate's sake alone, while I add that part, I spit my last breath at thee. That is how I feel. That is quite the satanic, by the way, for those of you who are into the LaVeyan style of Satanism. That is a very adversarial attitude. That is a very fuck you attitude, isn't it? So they created social media and they made it a giant honeypot. They made it the most enticing thing you can do. They made it addictive. They made it fun. They made it open. YouTube in particular was one of the best. In the early era of the internet, YouTube, once it started getting long form content, boy, that replaced TV 100% for me. I lived on YouTube. So they honeypotted everybody in. Then they started just censoring, throttling, shadow banning, demonetizing. They started social engineering, is what they call it. It became social engineering. What's up, Shift Happens? Woo! Jockster says, I had power cut for a week. Best time of my life. I agree with you. Sometimes it is. I don't want to be out of contact. I just want less of it. There's a saying that goes, we were more free when telephones were chained to the wall. Did you hear that one? Humanity was a lot freer when telephones were chained to the wall. There's a reason why I've thought to myself, I want to take this piece of shit and like create a holster for it on the wall and just leave it there. Like keep it completely out of arm's reach all the time. Fucking hate these things. But we're fucking addicted. We fucking need it. Go watch Johnny Mnemonic. It's a great line by, oh, come on. Spider, played by, I can't think of his name, although I'm pretty sure he's a freaking New World Order douchebag now anyway. But he had a great line when they're asking what this neurological disease comes from that's making everybody crazy. It's called the NLS or the shakes. And the guy said, you know, Johnny, who's played by Keanu Reeves, says, you know, what causes it? And he's like, what causes it? What causes it? This causes it, pointing all the technology. This causes it. This causes it. All this fucking shit that we can't live without, and we have to have it. It's like, I get it. That's what this is. They were telling you, predictive programming. Speaking of which, before I get to, I know I was going to talk about Texas, wasn't I? We'll get back to that. I would like to do, I believe this Saturday is when I'm planning on doing it. I would like to start hosting a regular gathering for people who are into the deep end of the pool of conspiracy theory, especially QAnon stuff. Technically it's Q and Anons, but because most of you guys don't know what it is, you've only heard the mainstream word for it. We'll just call it QAnon. I call myself a Q-tard, you know, taking the term back. I don't give a fuck if people think I'm retarded or not at this point. We are teetering on the edge of rationality anyway with what's going on. Call me a fucking Q-tard. I don't even see it as an insult at this point. But if you want to, I am intending probably every Saturday hosting a movie and a talk or something like that. It may not be Saturdays. I'm kind of thinking this coming Saturday. The first movie that I would screen would be They Live. How many of you guys have seen They Live? Raise your hand if you have. They Live is one of those, it's sort of like an initiatory movie if you're a conspiracy theorist. It's kind of like how you get your foot wet. So I would like to do some movies, but they do predictive programming all the time. If you don't know what that is, look it up. They prime you. It's called priming in psychology, in manipulation and sales tactics. They prime you. So I can prime you. For example, I can say something today that has foreshadowing about something a month from now that I'm going to do. And I'm going to say it in a way that will sound like I'm just spitballing or that it's not important, but it'll be in the back of your mind. And when I do it, you'll be like, wow, I was just thinking about that. Or I was wondering if he was going to do that. And it's going to seem like totally natural. You're not going to question it because you've already seen it. So for example, a number of years ago, there was a movie about a pandemic. I think it was even called Pandemic. It was almost exactly what happened with the disease that shall not be named from 2020. It was almost a dress rehearsal. If you watch that movie, you'll go, holy fuck, they told us what they were going to do. It's not even hard to see. It's not even a stretch. It's almost scene for scene at one point. Wrong movie, Kelly. I know what you're talking about. That was Outbreak. I'm talking about Pandemic. This was in like 2007 or 8 or something. I'd have to look it up to be sure. I think it was called Pandemic. Maybe my wife will find out. She does a lot of my searches while I'm talking. I think I hear her tapping now. That's probably what she's doing.
Pandemic is a 2016 movie.
Pandemic was from 2016. There's a theory that as we get closer to when things are finished, the predictive programming won't be years in advance. It'll be months or weeks. It's like a celebration. We're doing this to you and you can't stop us. Ha ha.
You might also be thinking of Contagion.
Maybe it was Contagion.
I think you're thinking of Contagion because
it's the one where the kid ends up sneaking out and gets in trouble. You know, like the one we saw with, you know which one. You've seen it.
yeah.
It's a stupid movie. It really kind of stinks, but you got a guy selling fake cures and everything. It's like everything. It's almost by the book what happened in 2020, boys and girls. It's almost by the book. In fact, I'm going to put that on the list of predictive programming because I want you guys to open your fucking eyes. You live in a goddamn matrix and you don't even know it. I've been watching this for 15 years, but I keep my mouth buttoned because I know a lot of people are not ready for this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Contagion.
I think it was Contagion. That sounds right. Yeah, I think it was called Contagion.
We've watched so many of those.
We have. We watched too many of them. See, they do this in a way that when I tell you this is going on, you go, that's crazy talk. That nobody would be that. Guys. Oh. And I know you guys don't think this way. You wouldn't be watching me if you did. But I have faced every nasty comment for seeing what people can't see. And Area Trans just said, recently watched it, meaning They Live, and he says, it's hilarious. That fight scene is exactly what normies will do to avoid the truth. It is exactly what they will do. They will fight you tooth and goddamn nail rather than even think that they might be wrong. There's so much ego involved too. It's not just that they've been programmed. Their ego has been programmed such that to deny the truth is like killing themselves. I'm serious. It's not that they're just trying to avoid being wrong or something. It's they have too much face to save. Their own ego is so wrapped up in the lie that they have been taught. They become Agent Smith. That is the metaphor. That is what Agent Smith represents. Yes, Joshua, quite a few movies did come out about the about outbreaks before. You got that right. They've been preparing us. They've been priming us. But that one movie in particular is almost a beat by beat recreation of what happened in 2020, or should I say vice versa. Why? Because it was always going to happen, but it was going to have a different outcome. It was going to be done under Hillary. She would have controlled the whole situation and not let you get away from it. We would still be under lockdown. You would not have a choice in the vaccine. If you caught it, you'd go into quarantine camp. I mean, you know, concentration camp. Especially if you refused to take the vax. That was going to be the plan. They had rehearsed it with Jade Helm. They were ready. Because 8 years of that bitch and control of the media, suppression of people like me, a lot of you guys who are only waking up now would be sitting here going, we got to put Thorne in a concentration camp because he's refusing the vax. That would have been you. Maybe not all of you, but some of you, one of you at least. And the average person would have been scrambling to throw me away and lock the key away. Or lock me away and throw away the key. Yeah, that's how it goes. And you too. You would have had so many New World Order dicks up your ass. Even if you liked that kind of thing, you wouldn't like it anymore. And I'm here to tell you, the New World Order aren't communists. You think they're communists? How many of you guys in the chat, especially you right-wingers like me, how many of you think that communism is what the New World Order is after? How many of you guys think that the New World Order is communist? Let's see how intelligent you are. How many of you think they are communists? I already know what the answer is going to be because I'm making it obvious. If you think that Hillary is a communist, if you think that Klaus Schwab is a communist, then you are on the right a brainwashed chimp. This is why I never liked saying the commies are doing it. When I say the commies are doing it, I mean the fools dressed up in Antifa garb who are supporting it. Those dipshits are commies. They're stupid. They're being told that this is part of the glorious revolution, the redistribution of wealth and rights, and we're going to take it back from all the racist white boys, and we're going to give it to all the brown people, and we're going to be the glorious saviors. Don't try me, kids. I've been watching you for a while. That's right, be great anyway, except for when they can use it as a tool. They are capitalists when it serves them, and they are communists when it serves them. I like that term, alien trans. I don't know if I'd use it, but occultocracy, yeah, that's pretty fair. Alien trans says occultocracy is what Mark Paseo calls them. So they will, you know, they're a switch. They'll be a bottom or a top whenever they need to be. They will be a communist or a capitalist when it serves them. They'll even pretend to be libertarian. What they want is control, not economic freedoms or something. They don't give a fuck about your economic system, guys. They just want the one that will give them maximum control, which is a centralized banking system. Who started that, by the way? Oh, that would happen to be the people I was bringing up earlier in Robert Sepper's recent video, by the way. The True Origins of Zionism, highly recommend. I don't have a lot of argument against that video. I don't think it's the whole picture, but it's an important piece that we don't get to talk about much, and I won't talk about it because I like having some presence on YouTube. I'm surprised he didn't get taken down for that. If you go watch Robert Sepper's latest video, not the one coming out about communism, that's building up from that last one. By the way, if you're a commie, and I respect you for sticking to your guns, please watch that video. Watch both of them. Watch the True Origin of Zionism and the communist one. It is not the whole picture. Please don't misunderstand. This is how you know people have been brainwashed, because the minute you say that, as soon as they see anything to do with the bad guys from World War II, instantly whatever you say cannot be heard. You are instantly racist, a bigot, or whatever. That is not the case. And I'm tired of pretending that I care anymore if you think it is, because it's not. Listen to me. I can sit here on this YouTube channel right now, and I can criticize Christians all day long, and none of you will say, stop it. I can sit here and say, every single Christian is a piece of shit that has to be put into a gulag because they're Christo-fascists. They're all bad. And I bet you, if it wasn't this current audience, at least, if it was the normal left-hand path, mystical, magical audience, I would be getting hearts and thumbs up. Yay, Thorne! Let's put the Christians into prison. Woo! But if you say one thing about the people that you cannot name, you gotta worry instantly. Everyone will turn on you, left, right, and center. You can say Islam. You can even say you don't like Israel. Do you know what I'm saying? But you cannot say the truth, that piece of the truth. And I'm only making a big deal about this right now, not because I hate those people. I have taken fists for those people. Do you understand? I don't hate anybody. I refuse to wear that mask of hate. I am not that guy. But I am sick of not being able to say those people too. You've heard of not all, like not all men, not all women. Well, the inverse of that is some of them. Some of those people are involved. And they do have an ideological source for it. And it is sick. But here's a funny irony. If you watch Robert Sepper's video, how many of you guys watch Robert's video? Please raise your hand if you watch Robert's video by now. I don't mean to just endorse him. I want to be clear. I am not blanket endorsing Robert Sepper. I have issues with Robert Sepper, okay? Let me make that clear. And they're very strong issues. But how many of you saw that video? Raise your hand, please. I know Be Great did. I'm sure a few other of you did. How many of you guys watched that video? If you watch that video and you really think about it, their plan worked. They did bring about the energy, at least. The soul of the Messiah has returned. Because people are starting to wake up. People are starting to realize. They're starting to look at each other and go, why are we doing this? It's not a lot yet, but it's starting. It is starting. How many of you guys are listening to me now who wouldn't have believed a word I was saying 5-6 years ago? How many of you? Raise your hand, please. I want to know. If you were listening to me 5 or 6 years ago, the things I'm saying, would you just be like, ha, this guy's nuts, off? How many of you guys, after seeing the last 5 or 6 years of shit, now suddenly think, you know what, maybe Thorne's not completely crazy after all? Please, when you watch him, please have a grain of salt, a big one handy. Because he does take himself a little seriously like I do, I guess. To be fair. Because we are actors at heart. We are having fun. I am hamming it up for you guys. Meet me in person. This isn't how I usually am. But I am having fun. This is a character I like to play. I'm not going to lie. But I can also be way more suave if you prefer. I can talk to you as if I am trying to flirt with you a little bit and say, have you watched Robert Sepper's latest video? Good point, Kirsten. You're talking about all that stuff. Have you noticed all of the, and also Thoth and Hermes prophecies coming true as well? Christian? These people are engineering it. to bring about the catalyst of change that is necessary. And I'm including the white hats too, by the way. Here's the fucked up part. I have friends that go, Trump is one of them. He's one of the bad guys because he's in on it somehow. Here's the secret sauce that a lot of you guys don't realize. In the beginning of 2020, I saw this clear as a day. I saw it clear as can be. It was so obvious to me that at the top of the pyramid is a force that is shaping what's happening and holding out its hands to humanity with a red pill and a blue pill. It's saying to you, choose the blue pill if you want enslavement forever, if you want darkness, if you want what society in the West would colloquially understand as Satan to win. I don't mean good guy Satan that left-hand path people follow. I mean bad guy Satan that most of society fears. Choose the blue pill, left-hand path Satan wins. Did you ever notice that part, by the way? You choose the one pill, you stay asleep, and you go into their system forever. You never get out. You become a slave in a 15-minute city. Your reproductive rights taken from you. Your right to speech taken because you don't have human rights. Why don't you have human rights? Because you chose slavery. That's Yuval Harari's secret. This is why he knows. In his mind, you don't have rights. Do you know why? Because you haven't taken them. You haven't risen up and said they're mine. You can't have them. Because so many people in this world are sitting here, cancel that person because they're talking about Robert Pfeffer. They have surrendered their rights because they have allowed their mind to be crushed. They have allowed their mind to be destroyed and enslaved. So in a manner of speaking, Harari is correct. You do not have free rights. You don't have rights at all. Unless you take them. Because your ancestors fought, bled, died, worked. They struggled for you to be free, fool. And if you give that up, you deserve what comes. Use it or lose it. That's right, be great. Orthodox Southpaw. Session consciousness opposed to Lucifer. Yeah, that's symbolically accurate. Here's the problem, though. They corrupt, and they destroy the good. You know the meaning of the all-seeing eye, especially within the pyramid shape, is a sacred holy symbol that does not represent anything evil at all. It represents the spiritual embodiment of consciousness. That eye within a hexagram or a Star of David, but it's not a Star of David, the six-pointed hexagram. The eye within that, taking the as above and so below, is a hermetic concept of consciousness incarnate in physicality, the full five elements, all as one, the eye being the fifth element in the middle. And you have the 6 and the 12 because it has 12 sides. Guys, it's so obvious. They don't want you to know you are God incarnate. Because they see themselves as a more elevated form. Because they know it, they believe it. And you are too stupid to figure it out, so you must be an animal. And any being that is of an animal mind is obviously meant to do what those of human mind do. In other words, humanity was given authority over the animals according to almost every religion ever. Either as brother, that is just a more intelligent, like we're better at this, so we do this, or we live in harmony with it. But either way, humans are set apart from the animal world on some level. Even if your brother is the wolf, you are not quite the same. They believe you are an animal because you have not, like a sheep, you have not jumped the fence to take your freedom back. You, me, well, I have. I've given up everything. I've lost lots of fucking money. I've lost lots of friends fighting this my whole adult life. I was making when you combine books, rituals, and the whole things together, I was making a pretty okay living for about a year until I opened my big mouth and started talking about what they were doing. And that shit got switched off like a spigot. Like someone said, nope. At least 2,000 a month in book sales, down to less than 100 sometimes. 200 to 250 people on a live stream to 30. I'm not saying that to say woe is Thorne. I'm trying to point out to you that if you stand up, they will try to knock you down. The only thing you can do is not go down or not stay down. That's it. I refuse to go down or stay down. Call me stubborn, call me stupid. Take control of the all caps name. Bingo. Or erase that fucker. Either way, I'm good. If you don't know what Ninurta's talking about, look it up. If you don't understand what happened to this country in the 1800s, look it up. Oh yeah, the powers that be will tell you it's a conspiracy theory. It's not true, but it is. In fact, if you go to my Gilded server that I just made, that's in the required viewing if you want to know what's really going on, is to learn about the corporatization of America in the 1870s, to learn about how that broke. I believe it was the year 1999, and there is a great hero that prevented the New World Order from lock, stock, and barreling us. It put us into a state of limbo. 9/11 occurs. Because we're in a state of limbo, the Constitution no longer fully applies, but they cannot fully undo it because the people will be roused. So what do? They stage a plan to use 9/11 to start infringing upon your rights under the color of self-defense. They start doing that one step at a time, one freedom at a time, all of them justified to fight brown people you've never met who are as innocent as anyone else. Yes, there's some jihadis, but half of them are fucking mercenaries. Half of them are mercenaries. Half of them don't, they're either nutcases or mercenaries. They're a tiny group. In the grand scheme, Trump beat them in 4 months when he had his gloves taken off. He took them out of Syria, I think, in about 4 months. He was told it would take at least 4 years. He did it in 4 months because he stopped avoiding the convoys and just attacked the convoys. Shut them down. They were done. Because the only reason the Gulf War and the War on Terror lasted 20 goddamn years is because they made it last that long, to drain you of trillions of dollars, to destroy your rights, and to take all the money that this corporation owed the Crown, the Vatican, and all these other groups, to put us into slavery and bondage forever. And it was supposed to be culminated this year. This year was the capstone, and 2025 was going to be the beginning of the new empire. And it would come on slowly, but it would be there. Punkhead, that's above my pay grade. Punkhead has, I have a question other than religious or historical reasons. Why do they really care about Jerusalem? Again, watch Robert Sepper's video. That'll get your foot in the door, Punkhead. You'll get a pretty good idea of why, but that's not the whole reason. They needed a place to hide, shall we say. They needed an untouchable place where you could not criticize, you could not attack without incurring the wrath of the world because of the sins of World War II. And they need that place to be a fortress that is always being attacked, so that they have an excuse to constantly pour money and weapons into it, so that it becomes a fortress for them. It is their headquarters, or one of them. It's not maybe the headquarters, it's one of the headquarters. How many of you guys follow Q or know what the hell that has to do with anything? The Q drops, one of them says, Israel will be saved for last for reasons that have not been mentioned anywhere else at any time. But people like Robert Sepper are telling you at least one of the reasons. Because the plot is so diabolical and insidious and disgusting. If the world knew about it, 99% of the world would be in a hospital. You couldn't take it. I'm not even talking about the reptilians and shit yet. I'm just talking about this part. Just the low-level, mundane part would make a lot of people throw up. Even some of you left-hand path people, I got news for you. Like, we had Siege over the first time he spent the week with us or whatever, the weekend. I had him watch this movie, and we saw this stuff, and they showed the skull and bones. I'm like, don't you fucking call yourself some kind of satanic left-hand path, dark-ass, curse a lot motherfucker. You're a meth magician, bitch. Those motherfuckers, if you ain't in that club, you're not a real dark-ass, evil black magician. You're nothing. Most of you guys would hurl all over the place if you saw what they do, what they get up to, what they really get up to. This isn't disputable. This is a fact. Unless you live in some kind of a naive little sheltered bubble, you know damn well that they do stuff and get away with it that would make you barf. So they slow walked our civilization to the brink. And the whole point of that was to get us to fall on our knees and say, save us, daddy government. We will submit to you and give up our rights and our money, anything it takes. Just don't kill us anymore. And by the year 2030, you'd all be fucked. Because once they got America lock, stock, and barrel, once the last capstone was put on this country, it was over for the world. It would just be about a generation and you'd all be dead or in prison. I'm not kidding. Alex Jones liked to say by the 2030s we'd be dead. Maybe. I think that's a possibility. At least a lot of us might be. But certainly by the 2050s, your all asses are in 15-minute cities wishing you did something different in your 20s. I'm serious. But then a miracle happened. A coalition of people got together and said, we're not letting this happen. They're even more secretive than the bad guys. Do you notice we don't even have a name for them at all? We call them Q, we call them the White Hats. We don't know who the fuck these people are, but they stood in the gap and they said no. They changed certain laws in the U.S. Code of War, the Law of War Manual, to make it clear that the President of the United States and the Commander-in-Chief are not the same office. In other words, two different people can hold either position. Normally, it's the same guy. President and Commander-in-Chief are the same guy, but it doesn't have to be. And they had it ruled, and it was codified in law. It does not have to be the same guy or girl. It doesn't have to be the same person. Do you know what that means? What happened in 2020? We were attacked, according to Trump. And he was asked several times, are we at war? And he said, yes, we were attacked and we are at war with an invisible enemy, with an unseen enemy, almost invoking JFK, who said almost the same thing. Invoking a JFK line. We are at war with an invisible enemy. We are at war. Mr. President, are we at war? Yes, we are at war. He publicly notified the population we are at war. Do you understand the implication of that? Read the laws. He notified the people we are at war. And if the situation is dire enough, the president has the right to invoke martial law under certain pretexts. He had several executive orders at the time that were fulfilled. There was a fraudulent election. I don't think anybody with a brain denies that anymore. And it is probably provable, in fact, I guarantee that it is, that foreign entities were involved, in which case that invoked the executive order under Trump, which gave him supreme dictatorial power to seize any property associated with it, any corporation, and take any individual. Thank you, by the way, Obama, in 2012, for giving the president, the office of the president, the ability to assassinate or imprison anybody without any due process at all whatsoever, and does not have to be reviewed until 6 months. So they can kill you, and 6 months later they can ask questions, and then you can say, sorry, it's classified. They can do whatever they want. And when Trump became president, all of that right in his hand. You don't have to like Trump. You might hate his fucking guts. There's times when I was first looking at him, I didn't like him either. I get it. But if you're a partisan, you're not going to get this. You're just going to go, Trump the evil, Trump the evil. I've had people go, he's a Zionist because he doesn't hate Israel, the nation. So Trump was commander-in-chief during a national incident that he declared war with an unseen enemy. We were attacked. That's the stipulation. We were attacked by an unseen enemy and we are at war. That alone was enough to invoke the War Powers Act, set up continuity of government, and create a situation where Biden is not the commander-in-chief, if it's even Biden, which I do not believe it is. I will be very surprised if that is Biden, because if it is Biden, he's wearing a mask, because that's not his face. I guarantee you that if someone had the balls to run up to the stage, grab his face and pull, something would come off and it ain't his mascara. According to the theory, which I ascribe to, which I don't think is wrong at all, Trump is still commander-in-chief. And in a wartime situation, in other words, martial law, he has authority of a sort you can't even comprehend. And people are saying, well, Thorne, that's not true. The military's all woke now. They won't help us. You're not looking clearly at anything. You're dumb. I'm not talking about the regular military. My son is not included in this, guys. I really don't think so. And if he is, God bless him, whatever God there is. May the divine watch over him, because bless him, he has kept his mouth shut like in ways I can't imagine. No, I don't think the rank and file mostly know about this. But a lot of them are getting suspicious, my son included. Just so you know. I won't say anything else about it just because I don't want to get him in any kind of trouble. There's a lot of people that are suspicious now. Yes, in the military. They're seeing fishy things. They know they're being ramped up to war, but something's not right. Who's signing our checks? One of the things that Trump did was he federalized the National Guard. About $1 million worth of the National Guard, under one of his executive orders, became federalized. You know what that means? They answer to him. They answer to the federal government in a continuity of government situation. He put those executive orders into place. And the interesting thing was, if you read the language of those orders, it only applies to him. It specifically says that the signatory, or something to that effect, I don't remember the exact language, is the exclusive holder of this power. The commander-in-chief is the exclusive. And yet Biden keeps extending these orders long after he was supposed to be able to do so. And his signature is not even his old signature. It's a totally different one. It's a show. It's all a show, guys. You know, I don't mean every bit of it. No, no, no. When I say it's a show, there's real shit going on. Believe me. There's real shit going on. Some of these things are real, okay? Some of these disputes are real. But they're engineered. They're tactically and strategically engineered so that the moves and counter moves are known years in advance, that we're watching a slow devolution, a slow crumbling of the system that's been planned and is now being executed. Go watch Trump at his rallies. Does he look the least bit worried? Go watch his last couple rallies at Iowa and New Hampshire. Go watch them. Go watch the after parties. Go watch him walking around. Does he look even the slightest bit worried about this? He's all smiles. He's not looking over his shoulder. He's not, like the media likes to put him like, oh, poor Trump, he's in trouble again. Motherfucker, that guy's playing golf every Sunday. He's not worried at all. You see, you have to be a little bit crazy. I never said I was sane. I just said I was rational. Does that make sense? I never said I was crazy. I was sane. Some of the sanest characters are the ones, you know, in shows that we think are nuts, like the Joker. In a lot of ways, as crazy as Joker is, he's almost the sanest one. In that latest movie, Joker, he was totally right on the, yeah. Am I wrong? Go watch the latest Joker movie. Yeah, he's the craziest one, but he's also the sanest one out of everybody. That's me right now. Because when you start to see past these layers, when you start to see the Matrix and you see like the numbers scrolling down, you just laugh because you're like, this is so retarded and stupid. How could anybody fall for this? It's so obvious. All you need is one layer to rip off the right way, and you go, wait a minute, that shouldn't rip off that way. That's right, Malachi. Do you know why? Malachi says, I like how Biden resembles a retard, but when it comes to particular things, all of a sudden he's a pro speaker. Because that's an actor wearing a mask. He was never that good. He was never like that. His fucking earlobe is now suddenly different than it ever was. Earlobes don't change. Even with plastic surgery, if you get plastic surgery to do a facelift, you don't suddenly go from a detached earlobe to an attached one. That doesn't happen. Unless you do it on purpose.
His squinty eyes are different.
His squinty eyes are different. The color is different. His signature is different.
He's got tabs.
He's got tabs. Yeah, there's actually a picture. You can see like a tab. And when he goes and he rubs his neck, you can see the mask move. It's so fucking funny. It's not like my skin or even an old person's skin that's a little wrinkly. No, you can see it literally like lift up and like slide back. It is so obvious. It's almost like they're showing it to you to make sure you see it. So that those of you who are aware, you're getting a little bit of a clue that it's happening. Just in case you're getting scared, it's kind of like the White Hats are saying, listen, I know some of you guys that know what's going on are getting a little scared because this looks real. Let's make sure that the news gets a nice close-up of Biden's ear so you can see the little earpiece and you can see, no, come on. All right, I promised you I'd be getting into the border and someone brought it up.
Just to let you know, it is midnight.
It is midnight. All right, I'm gonna call this a little bit early tonight. So I just want to talk about the border for a few minutes. And I'll probably end up being like 4 hours. You know me. Yes, Barack Obama mama. All right, here's where it's going to get good. You ready? So you guys are all familiar with what's going on in Texas. So let me give you guys the full Monty on it. So for years, our country has been destabilized with weaponized immigration. We'll call it that just to be politically correct. Weaponized immigration has been used to destabilize the economic, the social, and the everything, demographic, everything of this country. Because they need to take away this country from the people who it belongs to, quite frankly. And some of you might say, well, that should be the Native Americans. That's just something they pumped into your head. It's not that you're wrong. It's just that that's not how reality works or has ever worked. Do we say that Rome is not Rome because they conquered it from whoever lived there? No. Let me do that again. Guys, how many of you guys have had it pounded into your head that we Americans don't belong here because we took it from Native Americans? Now, that's true. That was a travesty, and I don't endorse it. But that was hundreds of years ago. It's not right what we do to those people. I'm not saying it is. I want to be clear. If justice was justice, it wouldn't have happened. But neither would any other country, neither would any other community, neither would any other tribe. Nobody would exist because everybody does that. We just did it more successfully here. If you don't see the same things happening in every country throughout history, do you really think Rome just arrived, or did they displace some native population to put...
The royal family of the UK is not English.
Yeah, the royal goddamn family of the UK is not even English. They're German. I am so stupid that I don't know this. I don't realize that. No, don't be that person. Don't be the average normie that they just think with their heart because they were taught not to think. Your heart's important, but it must be modulated, regulated, and sanity checked by your mind. If your mind is broken, your heart rules, which is fine up to a point, but your heart is easily deceived because it cares. Your mind is a cold machine. Your mind doesn't care. Either extreme is bad. You're not supposed to only have one hand or another. You need both, right? This is why I'm not saying that those poor souls coming over here are bad people. They are good people. By and large, most of them are not bad people. I don't hate any of them. I weep for them, so maybe not literally, but I feel bad all the time. I genuinely do, because these poor souls coming over here now that are trying to get here now, what's coming for them is not pretty. They are going to be rounded up. When whether it's Trump or some surrogate, whoever takes over that is not the New World Order, those people are gone. And a lot of the others are gone too. There will be a deportation operation. This is what Trump has promised. Day one, he will pull the trigger, deport operation. Border closed, deport operation on day one. I am so sorry if that bothers you. I don't fucking care. I'm beyond caring at this point. I do care about those people, but I don't care about stopping it. Nope. Because this has been weaponized. And here's the deal. Over time, it's going to improve for those people. And the reason why it's going to improve for those people is because once the New World Order is put down, there won't be so much pressure on the third world anymore. See, what you guys don't understand, like I was trying to tell you in the beginning of the stream, the third world didn't do this to themselves. You can't tell me that those good people that are living in, Guatemala or Ecuador or something, that they're doing this to themselves. You can't tell me that the people of Afghanistan are doing things to themselves. The people of Iran did this to themselves. No, they didn't. People do not willingly sign up to destroy themselves unless they are tricked, coerced, or otherwise forced into it. When you have nefarious fuckers running around the world doing this to the third world, it's not their fault. I don't blame them for their society at all. I don't blame you either. I blame the same fucks that are doing this to us right now. It's the same people. And because of politics, you have learned that it's only the left or the right that does it. Someone told you, some talking head on the television said to you, hey, if you're a Republican, it's your fault. If you're white, it's your fault. If you're a male, it's your fault. When I guarantee you, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 of you people listening to me, not only is it not your fault, if it was up to you, it would stop in a heartbeat. And that last one is just indifferent. You'd have to get into I don't know how many digits before you got actual racism, at least back in 10 years ago. So they created this crisis, and it's now playing out. Here's the beauty of it. It's pretty much, to my eyes, all under control. It doesn't look like it, right? How many of you guys, raise your hand if you disagree with Thorne politely, not like Thorne's wrong or stupid, but you personally think it's not under control. How many of you guys don't think it's under control? Now, when I say under control, I'm not speaking in absolutes, okay? I'm not saying every piece of it is being manipulated and controlled. I'm saying the white hats pretty much have this contained. How many of you guys, raise your hand if you disagree? Go ahead, you're allowed. I'm just curious. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to tell you what I think. Because I don't know. This isn't like non-duality where I know. This is a belief. It's a strong belief. Based on evidence, but it's not easy to prove because it's like being a detective and you still haven't gotten the smoking gun yet. Or you have, but it's not something you can easily prove. It's like an imply. It's kind of like I've told the story before, like you don't necessarily know that the person had drugs in their house, but if you're trying to do a search of their house and suddenly you find that they're flushing shit down the toilet a lot when you're trying to open the door and they're like, oh shit, somebody's coming, flush it, flush it, flush it. Well, you don't know for sure that they had drugs, but they did something to cover it up. That's the situation we're in right now. And the average normie doesn't think that way. They don't understand what it means to be critical and understand how to tell when someone's lying to you. How many people have you encountered in this conversation where when you say, hey, did you know that they lied about this? And they go, source. And of course, what source are you going to use? Because they only listen to the media. What are you going to use? I have done this so many times in my life where I'm like, I have evidence. It's just, it doesn't come from Fox or it doesn't come from MSNBC. And they go, oh, I don't want to hear it then. Stupid fools. So what's actually happening is this has been understood as part of the operation for a long time, that under 2020, when 2020 happened, there's two competing theories. They either staged the fake election stuff or they let them do it and then use that as the final excuse to activate martial law against not against you, continuity of government against the traitors. That's the one I believe. I believe that when the election was stolen, Space Force had all the information because there was a period of time when it wasn't under posse comitatus because it was a new branch of the government for about 5 or 6 months. It had total access to everything and there was no laws against it operating on American soil like normally military forces don't. See, this is what people get twisted. When people hear the Q plan involves the military, they go, well, the military's not going to do shit. In fact, they can't. No, duh. We're not talking about that part of the military. They're doing it abroad. They're not doing it here. See, like my son, the Navy, they're not doing it here. Whatever they're doing is over there. They're in a coalition that you don't see because it's not on the news, because if it was on the news, they'd be admitting what's going on. And they can't do that because then you'll know, you'll rise up and it'll be over too fast. So, and I'm talking about the bad guys. So they're denying it. And they're all denying it. It's all a big secret. And it's not that big, actually. That's the crazy part. Like people hear this, they go, Thorne, this sounds impossible. How could it be keeping a secret? Because it's not involving that many people, actually. Not actually, it's not. It's not requiring armies of millions of people or even hundreds and hundreds of thousands. You have the war in Ukraine. You have the operation going on in Israel. You have the staging for Taiwan. You have a little brush fire here and there. You have small little conflicts. Iraq's popping off again. All these little booms you're hearing around that just sound like, you know, snafu, situation normal, all fucked up. Those are the operation. Russia didn't invade Ukraine just for the reasons the news tells you. Russia invaded Ukraine to literally grind down the New World Order's operation there and destroy them. A lot of it. We're talking bioweapon labs, we're talking human trafficking, literally deep underground military bases. And this is why they're pumping billions into Ukraine to stop Russia. Because they need to. Because they're trying to protect their assets. And when that failed, they started laundering that money and using that to pay off the people that they always pay off. Why do you think the Rothschilds are suddenly selling off parts of their fortune all of a sudden? Did you know that? Interesting, huh? There's a problem in Ukraine and suddenly the Rothschilds are crying poverty? Huh, that's kind of weird, isn't it? But you wouldn't know that because you don't turn off the television. You don't turn away from the online pundits, from the Styx Hexenhammers, and the people who either only have a normie level understanding, or they have a conspiracy theory level understanding, or they have a little bit more deep end, or then you get, unfortunately, the crazy ass anons like us. That might be wrong about a lot. To be clear, I am completely objective about this. I know I could be wrong. But the way I see it, I'm either right, mostly, or to some degree, or we're all dead. So I'm going to operate like I'm right, because that's the only hope. I don't know if you guys have ever, I don't know, how many of you guys have ever taken wilderness survival classes or anything like that? Or have done research on it, watched videos? Do you realize that even if you're facing certain death, the last thing you want to do is admit that? It's not that you're hopelessly optimistic or something, or you're unrealistic. It's that if you believe, like let's say you get lost in the woods, you don't have a pack, you don't have anything, it's freezing cold. The last thing you want to do is just go, it's hopeless, lay down and die. The first thing you got to do is say, you know what? I'm going to see how far I'm going to get. You're going to spit in the eye of fate and say, hey, anything can happen. I am going to do everything I can to live. And that means you are going to approach this from the perspective that may seem Pollyanna to the dipshit next to you who's a doomer. Studies have proven over and over and over again that the person who calls themselves a realist and is a pessimist is always the one who doesn't make it. Because they are the first to sit down. They proved this on 9/11. There was this one character, this guy, he's running down the stairs with his friend, and his friend's trying to drive, come on, we're going to make it. We can make this. It's only 30 floors or whatever it was. We can make it out. And this guy just was like, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. Guess who made it out? At some point, the guy who knew they could make it out had to leave him behind because he wouldn't budge. He's like, I'm just going to stay here because what's the point? You stupid motherfucker. This is why I have zero patience for doomers at all. Even in the worst moments before I was starting to realize this stuff was true again, well, because I got knocked on my ass for a minute. Circumstance sucked. But I refused to doom about it. I was like, no, we can still pull this out. This ain't over yet. Fight. What are you doing? Why are you dooming? We can't win this. There's no way Trump can win. He's a loser now. They cheated him, and there's no way we can win because they're going to cheat again. Okay, so they're going to cheat again. You think politics is the only answer? Stand up. I don't mean start shooting. I mean stand up. Use your voice. It's not just online. I've sacrificed thousands of dollars and friends to keep pushing the truth out a little bit at a time. I've often said die laughing because that way you die in good company. Because the spirits that are waiting you are going to be like, that was cool. So I have zero patience for doomers. I don't like them. And when I catch myself doing stuff like that, getting to feel like, oh, I can't do it. That's when I hit myself with something. Or I really analyze, is this something I even want to do? But if it's a matter of survival, I don't know where my threshold of giving up would be. Maybe like I lost all my arms and legs. Maybe that would be it or something. Yeah. I want quality of life, not length of life. That's my priority. I want a good life, not a long one. A long, good one would be great. But I don't need a long one. I want a good one. So if it comes down to it, if I make the choice, it's not because I'm a doomer and go, there's no hope. It's all over. It's too hard. No. If I really want it, there's nothing that will stop me. I will keep going and going and going and going and going and going until I'm dead. So I'm approaching this from the perspective of, if I'm wrong, I'm dead anyway. And what would I be doing differently? Nothing. So I choose to examine the Q stuff. And when I did, I couldn't deny it anymore. Once I started looking at it again, I'm like, nope, this is true. I don't know if it's all true, but it is true. There is obviously an operation going on if you look deep enough behind the facade of media, including your favorite alt media guy like Styx, or I don't know, who's your favorite, Salty Cracker? They don't know. They're propagandists. In fact, some of them, I believe, are knowing propagandists. In other words, I don't know about Styx, but I get this weird feeling about Salty, like Salty might be a professional, not because he's self-employed professional. I mean, he might be a propagandist because someone made him that. J.P. Sears, as another example. Up until he met Trump, he hated Trump. He goes to meet Trump because he's an open-minded guy, meets with him for a half hour, comes back out and is suddenly one of the biggest right-wing Trump supporters in the world. J.P. Sears, ultra spiritual, the comedian, is suddenly one of the biggest Trump supporters. X22. All these things just come out of the woodwork and they're pushing you gradually towards this. I guarantee you, Blair White, I guarantee you she's been gotten messages. She's in on the inside. I even believe Trump Styx is on the inside because he's made it clear enough. He's even said that he knows people that are in the Trump campaign. He's got connections, and occasionally there are emails. And he's even said in his videos, hey, I know you guys are watching. Tell this to Trump. Tell it to his advisors. They are connected, some of these people. I know this because the left does it. The Democrats will buy TikTok influencers all day long. This is a greasy ass operation on both sides, boys and girls. This isn't just the left is evil doing evil tricks. No. To be brutally honest with you, I'd be pissed off if the good guys weren't slitting. I don't want to say too much. I would be disappointed if the good guys weren't doing every sin in the book to win. It's that important. We're talking about the fate of the species. When you're talking about the fate of the species, a few broken eggs is no big deal. Let's be realistic. We're not talking about, storybook endings here, where everybody's a good guy and it's Prince Charming saving the day. We're talking about reality. Cold, hard, Saturnian reality. So the border has been set up to be one of the precipice points. They have set up this showdown for years. This isn't, if you listen to me, how many of you guys think that what's happening in Texas is just an organic development right now? How many of you guys think that it's just time for it to happen because it's time for it to happen? How many of you guys are so blind that you think that this wouldn't have happened except somebody made an oopsie? This was engineered by the white hats to be a confrontation scenario. Now, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow because tomorrow is the deadline. Tomorrow is the deadline for this. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? There is a standoff between the feds and the National Guard, which is the military. And I will bet donuts to dollars that those National Guard are probably part of the National Guard that Trump nationalized, federalized under his commander-in-chief authority as continuity of government, martial law is ongoing. I guarantee you those nasties are incorporated into the plan, whether they know it or not. They may not even know it. I don't know that for sure. That's just my guess. That's my gut, and it could be wrong, okay? Don't be like, if I'm wrong tomorrow, don't be like, Thorne, you said. I will tell you what I'm telling you now. I am making predictions of a speculative nature. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm too deep in it to be intuitive about it. Like, this isn't like something I'm cold about. This is something I'm hot about. So I have a preference. So I'm hoping. And that throws off your readings every time. So I could be wrong. But there's supposed to be a showdown tomorrow. How many of you guys know that Biden, instead of backing down when the National Guard said, no, we're going to keep doing this, we're going to keep putting up this border, Biden said, I'm giving Governor Abbott and the National Guard until tomorrow, in other words, the 26th right now, sometime today, they are supposed to let the federal border agents start cutting the razor wire again. Do you think those federal agents want to? Do you think that this is what they want to do? Well, maybe they do. Maybe the ones that they've got there personally do, because they might be federal operatives. They might be black hats. Or they might be staged. But let me ask you guys a question. What happens if there's an incident tomorrow? What happens if the Fed or the National Guard, one of them, I don't know which side will do it. What happens if one of them has an oopsie and their trigger finger gets a little itchy? What if somebody overreacts to something? What if it's a tense moment and someone says, oopsie? Somebody gets hurt, somebody gets shot, somebody gets arrested, somebody gets put in twist ties. Can you imagine if some federal agent is pushed away from the razor wire, draws his gun, pow, shoots the National Guard guy, then there's like a fucking just wave of just takes him down? What do you think's going to happen? Do you think the military and National Guard is going to be like, go Biden? They hate his ass already. Ask my son, they hate his ass. They're not going to be like, yes, sir, let's take out the National Guard and take out this other National Guard. No, they're going to say, fuck you.
Especially to turn against themselves.
They'd be turning against themselves.
That's a band of brothers right there.
And if those feds aren't black hats or something, they hate Biden too. So more than likely, there'll be a standoff and then the feds will back down. That's what I see happening, most likely. Hopefully. But what would serve the plan better? Well, let's pause that for a moment. How many of you guys know that 25 states are now agreeing to support Texas in this? And how many of you guys know that President Trump, who I still call president, made a statement today that he encourages those 25 states to send National Guard troops to back up the Texas National Guard? How many of you guys know that? Please raise your hand. Did you know that? Think about it. While Trump was still president, he signed executive orders that made about 1 million National Guard individuals federalized. And there's even more to that plot. If you know, they have been conducting operations all over the United States for the last 4 years. Go watch Monkeyworks. Monkeyworks is not, I don't think he's a Q guy anymore. I think he was. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me. I know Monkeyworks used to be all about the plan. Now he seems to be a bit of a doomer, but I don't know if that's just he's just, you know, being objective. It could be that. I think maybe he's objective and he sees both sides, so he reports on it both ways just in case, because he's just telling you what's happening. Go watch Monkeyworks. Go look at the flights that are around, all the National Guard shit flying around, and especially the ones that are violating their rules that aren't supposed to be operating in certain areas, but they are. Go look at the fact that Gitmo's getting not just the daily change of the guard flight, they're getting the flight that usually has prisoners on it. Back and forth almost every day. Who are they picking up and putting down? Why did they build another prison for at least, I forget how many people, another big time Gitmo level prison? That the word on the street is that's for the media when this is over. So what do you think's going to happen tomorrow, guys? Let's hear it in the chat. What do you think's going to happen tomorrow? Here's what I think is going to happen. This is my prediction, okay? As a result, either of this or in part because of this, they're going to use the 25th Amendment on Biden. This is what I think is going to happen. He's going to push it. He might even rant and rave and say the federal agents should have hauled off and took a shot. Or maybe he'll try to call up some troops to go there or something. He'll do something stupid to escalate it. Maybe someone will get hurt. I hope not, but maybe, or they'll stage it and it'll look like someone got hurt. They'll do something. And then Biden gets 25th Amendmented. Now, of course, that's a puppet. That's not really Biden. I don't believe that for a moment. But for the normies, that's what they're going to see. They're going to see Biden get 25th Amendmented. How many of you guys are waiting for the day he gets that anyway? How many of you guys would doubt that scenario? How many of you guys doubt that they're going to 25th Amendment Biden? Do you think that's... No. That's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to do everything under him, blame it all on him, 25th them, and then they're going to try to put someone else in his place. Word on the street, it's going to be Big Mike Obama. And if you don't know why I said Big Mike Obama, you're probably watching the wrong guy. Why do you think Obama had a chef mysteriously drown in his pool, in his pond? It was to get attention on them. That's one reason. But that might have even been Obama. I don't even know. I don't even fucking know. This is the part where you start looking at things, it's just, there's so many layers to this. Who the fuck knows? He might croak first, but no, I predict 25th Amendment because that would be even more entertaining. Honestly. Trump has said from the beginning, I don't think I'm going to be running against him in November. Did you know that? Trump said that he still believes that Biden will be 25th before the election. He's said that many times. But how much more entertaining will it be? And I mean this with all humility because I don't want anybody to get hurt. But how much more entertaining will it be if something happens tomorrow? What if there is an incident? What if someone gets hurt? What if it's on live television? Pop, 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 pop. You know that sound? How many of you guys have listened to actual warfare? It doesn't sound like you think it does. At least not on camera because the microphones don't pick up the full bass of the pop. It'll sound like just some firecracker. If that, you might not even hear the pop. Because it's too, the volume is wrong. The microphones, it just goes. You'll hear some little pop, 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 and it'll be over. What if that happens tomorrow? Like, I'm supposed to go to Iron Garden tomorrow night. If that happens, I'm probably going to be, I don't know, it's 50-50. I might still go, but there's a good chance I'll be like, nah, the world's ending. I want to stay home. Yeah, what if there's a shootout? I'm not predicting a shootout. I'm just saying, what if? I want all you guys to just close your eyes and just think, what would happen if there's a shootout tomorrow between the feds and the National Guard? It's not going to happen. I don't think it will. But what if it does? In fact, even if it doesn't, the fact that you have 25 states throwing in with Texas right now, that's, by the way, a majority of the states of the Union. It's not 22, 20, 25 plus Texas is 26. That's more than half of the country in terms of state, not population, just state, that are backing Texas right now. Do you know what that implies? All of those states are going to be putting forth measures to get rid of Biden soon. Especially if tomorrow is any kind of dramatic thing. But here's another fun little tidbit. And I don't know if it's going to hit or not. We're not done yet. Just the day before yesterday or the day before that, I can't remember because sometimes the days blur together when you're an overnight type of guy like me. Like you live 2 days, not one, for every day. Because you're like, I wake up at 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, and I go to bed at 4 in the morning. So half the time it's, I don't know if it's one day or the other because it's like, you know, I'm up all day. You know what's happening tomorrow? Excuse me, not tomorrow. You know what happened the other day? How many of you guys heard about Alex Soros basically putting a very on-the-nose death threat hit order against Trump on Twitter? How many of you guys saw that? Did you see that? Go to Twitter and look up Alex Soros death threat or Alex Soros Donald Trump hit or something like that. It'll come up. It's an article that he reposted that has a picture of a window with a bullet hole in it. $47, meaning 47th president, meaning Trump. Everybody knows who he's talking about. He's not talking about Biden. So he made a thinly veiled on-the-nose threat. Even Styx, who is relatively sane, unlike me, said it's too on the nose to be ignored. It's obviously meant to be a threat. In fact, you know what?
You got a nice little comment.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Only Mid says vegan patrons sent them.
Who's that?
I don't know. I take it it's another YouTuber that's a patriot.
Aww.
But it's nice to see.
Make mine a 99, mackin' a mayan. Oh, that's it, Maiden. That's it. Are you still here, Maiden? Mackin' a man. Mackin' a man. I like that. Mackin' a man. Mackin' a man. Says vegan patriot sent me too. We love you, Mac. Make mine a 99. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I like to tease him. It's just one of those things. It's like a friend of a friend and a friend of mine too. It's really funny. Oh, Artful Nation. Hey, what's up? Hello, vegan patriot sent me too. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I don't know who Artful. I don't know who's vegan patriot. Wait, hold on. Yeah, why don't I feel bad now when there's somebody who's like telling people to like me or whatever. Come on, man. I mean, I can forgive they're vegan. It's okay. You get to eat what you want. I'm teasing. Who's vegan patriot? Okay, I don't know who that. Listen, whoever you are, thank you. I don't know who that is. There's but I don't know who that is. Is that vegan patriot meme dog and friends? Like who is this person? I never heard of them. Could you guys who said I want to give them some love? Could you guys, whoever sent you, could you put a link to their channel? Because I want to give them a shout too, because that's the right thing to do. I really appreciate that. Hopefully it was in a good way. Hopefully they weren't like, watch this guy's channel, he's a jackass. Wow, look at all you guys. Thank you. Well, I am gonna. Could you guys link the channel, please, or put the full name of the channel for me? I want to sub. I want to give them a subscription. That's really sweet of them. I can't tell. If you're talking to them, tell them I appreciate it. It is noted, and I invite them to talk sometime. If they're into my channel, that would be fun.
Dr. Alex Rubini says she's really nice and fun to watch.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah, my wife just said, Alex Rubini says she's really nice and fun to watch. Thank you, honey. Oh, that's awesome. You know what? Let me rant mode off. Thank you very much, Vegan Patriot. I really appreciate that. I want to be as sincere as possible. I don't know you. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at giving people gratitude, but I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, because I can tell by the quality of the people you're sending. I know Make Mine and 99's good people. So if she sent you, Mac and Amaya, then I know they're a good person. Thank you guys. Just let them know. I don't know. I got to find the channel. Somebody's got to help me find the channel, because I want to make sure I'm getting the right one. It might even be somebody that I know. Because the odd thing is, the fucked up thing is, doing this, I especially with ADD, I lose track of people so fast. I think this is who it is. They got 1 point with the dog and Doge and friend, meme Doge and friends. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna sub to that girl. Hopefully that's who it is. I really appreciate that. I can't tell you how much. All right. So let me know if I got the right one. In fact, I'm gonna put the text from the channel name in the chat so we can be sure. Oops, don't. No! Go away, Opera. I don't want to open you right now. Go away. Stupid thing. Sorry about that. Quit Opera. I might lose some frames from that, because that might. All right. There we go. I think that's the channel. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right. Anyway. So what do you think's going to happen tomorrow? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think's going to happen tomorrow? I want your opinion. Tell me in the chat what you think's going to happen tomorrow. And you know what sucks about getting all this influx of nice people at the last minute? Is I was thinking about ending the stream in a little while, because it is late. But I'll keep going a little bit longer, okay? So I'll go till 1 o'clock Eastern. So you guys got a half hour with me, okay? So there was a literal death threat, if you will. Now, is it real? I think we should take it as real. I think we should treat it as if it's real. I know that if I was a security detail and I saw that, I go, what, are they going to kill him? So I bet you even if you just put in Alex Soros, it'll pop up pretty quick on. Yep, there it is. There it is. So I am going to open a new tab so we don't have to look at all the chit chat. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Actually, that's not the right one. Let's go back to a different one. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. I want to get the actual post, because I don't know if he deleted it. Does anybody know if he deleted it? I'm going to go look. I'm going to see if he deleted it.
What was it?
Alex Soros. You know, just saying that name, you know the algorithm just went, ah!
Didn't get throttled again.
You know why I probably won't? Because it's important that people see this for the plan to flow through. So just understand me, please. There's a good chance that some of this stuff won't be regulated. Thank you, Solar Flare, Andy. Yeah, they probably won't research that threat, Solar Flare. You're right. The feds won't research it. We'll put it that way. The feds won't investigate it. National Guard might. Secret Service might.
Patrick says, hey, brother.
Hey, Patchy's here. What's up, dude? Oh, you sent some supers? Okay, hold on. Yeah, bro, there's nothing here, man. There is nothing here.
All I see is for Julie Vanilla from way back.
Yeah, there's nothing here. Did you actually pay or did it get canceled? Because Be Great Anyway says I sent 2 super chats that aren't showing. YouTube's still messing with you. They are.
Who said that?
Formerly Orthodox Southpaw. Be Great Anyway.
Because I'm not seeing that at all.
Make sure you have live chat on. He says he sent them, and I don't see him either. So, but look for his regular chat anyway.
Yeah, his regular chat's here.
Yeah, that's wild. All right. Anyway, back to the point here. So I got the post. He didn't delete it. It's still there. So let me main it. Let me mainline this bitch. Make it big because I don't want you guys to see my other profile. Because I have troll profiles on Twitter that I don't want anybody to know I have because I say stuff on there I don't necessarily agree with, but I say it to fuck with people. So forgive me. So let me try to mainline this bitch over on my other screen. Give me a second. Get this right.
He says YouTube indicated both super chats were successful.
Well, ain't that a bitch? When did you send them? Was it during this stream or the other one? Oh yeah, you guys can't hear my wife, can you? She said that what you said. Let me see. All right. All right, that's good. So I'm going to give you guys a screen share here in a second. And I'm going to hide my other profile. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to put my real profile on. How about that? Instead of doing all this freaking, the shady shit, I'm just going to do the right thing. How about that? That's better. Now, if you see it, it won't be so bad. All right. Because I do exist there. Oh, of course. Where'd the article go? Where did that go? Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. It's not stopped. They took the screenshot down. Interesting. No, it's still there. I don't know, guys. This is acting fishy. It was there on my other account. Now it's gone. All right. Anyway, you'll be able to see it. Here it comes. Here it comes. What is it? Second capture? Yep. Okay. Can you guys see that screen? I hope you can. This is where it gets juicy, guys. It's going to get juicy. All right. So, you know what? Fuck it. Take over the whole screen. You don't need to see me. Put it over here. There. Good. All right. So right over here. Can you see right here? This is a post from Alex Soros, and it was January 21st, 2024. And it seems innocuous, right? Unfortunately, because of the way this is working, it's not showing the graphic for some reason. So I'm going to scroll down so you can see it from Michael Flynn, who, if you're real deep inside, you might not completely trust, by the way. I hate to say it. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, by the way, but I don't want to sound too bad with that because I don't know. Don't want to slander a man who might be a hero. But there is some questionable stuff I'm learning that I don't want to get into right now because I don't know. But do you guys see the graphic? So look at that bullet hole and count up the dollar bills here. We got 10, 25, 10, and 2 ones. How much is that? That's 47. If you do the research, you can even find out that there's clues about the money. Does anybody notice this bill right here? Let me open this bad boy. I'm going to lower my voice a little. I'm getting a little too wound up. Do you guys see this right here? Do you guys see what that says? When was the last time we used a silver certificate? Anybody know? Look it up for a minute. When was the last time we used silver certificates? Interesting, right? If you look that up, you're going to find out it was roughly 1964. Do you know who was president? Who was shot? Who kept us on the gold standard and who took us off and what year that happened? And why it happened and who allowed it? Kennedy was going to keep us on the gold standard. Then he died. Somebody shot him in the head. Supposedly. It couldn't have anything to do with the Bushes, by the way. Don't ignore that photograph of Bush at the book repository, by the way. If you don't know about that one, look it up. So, let's deconstruct this a little bit. Bullet hole, $47. One of them is a silver certificate. Just in case the message isn't clear, bullet hole 47 former presidents, a lot of look at where the thumb is, guys. Thumbs over the head. Now, here's the thing. You know what's fucked up about this? You know what the media said about it? They said these are stock photos. They're like, these are stock. It's true. These are Getty Images. If you've ever done art, graphic design, you know what Getty Images is. It's a stock photo website. These are stock photos. There's no doubt about it that that's what they are, but that doesn't mean they weren't chosen intentionally, does it? Is that what that means? No, of course it doesn't. So let's get a little dirtier with it, shall we? Oh, let's really, wrong one. Boop, boop. There we go. Let's full screen this so you can really get a good juicy bite out of it. You see this? But here's another tidbit that you might have missed. Notice the bills that are right side up versus upside down. This is where it starts getting a little crazy, and I don't know about this one. This is just my suspicion. So let's take a close look. Which bills are up and which ones are down? You have a $10 bill. That's right side up. You have a $5 bill. That's right side up too, right? You have a $1 bill and another $1 bill. And those are the silver certificates. That's interesting. Let's ignore that for a minute. 10, 5, 1, 1. What does that add up to? Anybody know? 10 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1. Sorry, Maiden. I wanted to put it on full screen on the other monitor. I'll do it like this. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry. I fucked up. How about that? Can you guys see it now? Did I fuck it up? Sorry, guys. That's my fault. My bad. I'm a newbie. Sometimes Christian Thorne steps in, that redneck motherfucker don't know shit. I have to hit him. Oop, there it is. There's the brain. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I blame it on the ADD. All right. 10. Yeah, I don't think anybody was. They're just listening. All right, so let's go back to this. Bullet hole, $47. 10, 5, 1, 1. What does that add up to? No, not in reductive numerology, Mr. Zombie. No. I know what you're getting at. But what does that add up to in absolute number? I'll tell you what. That's what Twisted Jack said. That's what I say. 17. Boop. Does anybody know what's significant about the number 17 to a Q-tard? Who here knows what's significant about that? Well, I want the audience to tell me. Does anybody in the audience know why 17 is important to a Q-tard? 47. How'd you get 47? No, that's what it was when you're counting all the bills, Area Trans. I said just count the ones that are right side up. This is important. Just count the ones that are right side up. Does anybody know what's important about the number 17 to a Q-tard? I'll give you a hint. It is a little bit like numerology here. What is the numerical value of each letter in the alphabet? Yes, Area Trance. See, Area Trance has yeah, that's my boy. Area Trance ain't a dumb one at all. The 17th letter of the alphabet is a Q. Ooh, now we're getting something juicy out of here. If you follow the Q stuff long enough, you know that the number 17 is another clue that there could be another message here. Because this happens all the time. When there is comms, and there are comms, there are definitely comms, there will be 17s, there will be Qs, there will be symbols and things that are obvious to a Q-tard that wouldn't be obvious to the average dope. So we get a 17. That gives us a hint that maybe this might have something to do with Q. Now, what do these other numbers add up to? 20 and 30. Do you guys know? Or excuse me, 20 and 10, you get 30, right? Here's something fun that you guys probably don't know about. Let me, boop. Let us go to Q alerts. Have you guys ever been here? Anybody know what Q alerts is? Let's take the number 30. For post 30. What is post 30? Post 30. What's the text of post 30? So for those of you guys who don't know, Q is supposedly an intelligence asset that is working for us to help bring down the government that is corrupt, the deep state, the New World Order. Suppose some people think Q is even Trump. I think that's silly, but whatever. Q refers to Q clearance. If you don't know, don't look this up on Google. You won't find out. I have a Gilded server. In fact, I'm gonna put the link for the Gilded server in here. I want you guys to come look at this shit. Let me get this going here. Hold on. Application. Copy. So I want to give you guys a chance. Come on in here. I'm going to do LOL so I can give myself a space. Come into this Gilded. This is my Qtard server. This is where a lot of some deep stuff goes. That I only got started using it again recently because I put it away. I didn't like that server, and now I rebooted it as this. Only Qtards are welcome. If you come in there to argue that it's not real, I will boot you out in a heartbeat. I don't like you. Go away. You may be right, but that's not what that server's for. We're not there to argue about whether it's real or not. All right, let's read this together, shall we? All right, hold on. Just getting my screens fixed here. All right, good. Post 30. Would you believe a device was placed somewhere in the White House that could actually cause harm to anyone in the room and would in essence be undetected? So we're talking about security here. Fantasy, right? When Trump was elected, you can't possibly imagine the steps taken prior to losing power, in other words, the deep state, to ensure the future safety and control. Meaning they put lots of booby traps to kill his ass. When it was reported Trump Jr. dropped his, not SS like Nazis, dum-dum, when he dropped his Secret Service detail. Why would he take that huge risk knowing what we know? So why would Trump Jr. get rid of his Secret Service detail? Why would he take that risk knowing what we know? And of course, here we get into some spy shit. I can hint and point, but cannot give too many highly classified data points. These keywords and questions are framed to reduce sniffer programs that continually absorb and analyze data, then pushed to Z terminals for eval. Think XKeys SC on steroids, which is all gobbledygook to me. But this post is talking about the security of the president and his family. And it is implying, right here, this line is key, when it was reported Trump Jr. dropped his Secret Service detail, why would he take that huge of a risk? Because they're protected. They are watched over. Not by Secret Service, because Secret Service is more likely to be compromised. You follow me? You feel me? So, let's put it back together again. I might not have both screens up. Let me see. There we go. Bullet hole. Can you guys still see it? Did I kill it? I think I killed it. No, there it is. Well, I didn't take it down, but I'm not seeing it up. Like, what happened? That's weird. Guys, that is weird. I am sorry. I don't know what this thing... There it is. Wow, that is really weird. Why doesn't it show that now? What is broken on this now? Is it? Because it's...
I know this is delayed, but you have it on the screen right now.
But I never took it down, so...
Right.
Did you guys see the Q drop?
Yeah.
Because I don't see it on the replay at all. It's not there. Oh well, whatever. It must be a bug. That is weird. All right. And actually, I figured it out. It must have, somehow the time is off. That's weird. All right, anyway.
Oh.
So let's go back through it again. Bullet hole, 47, 17 up, 30 down. Bullet hole, Trump. Kill Trump. We're going to kill Trump, just like JFK, the silver certificate. He's a dead man. 1730, 17 means Q. 30, post 30. Post 30 talks about how protected the president is. Guys, it can get juicier than that. The silver certificates, back when we used silver certificates, that was because the dollar bill was worth equivalent to an ounce of silver. Do you know how much an ounce of silver is worth? About $22 right now. If we go back on the gold standard, all of your money will be worth that much again. And you're not going to have to like lose money to trade it in. They'll probably do it at 1 for 1. So if you got $100 in your bank account, it'll suddenly be worth So when you think about this, this is for all the fucking marbles. They're almost threatening. Why would they use silver certificate? Yes, because it's JFK. I know that's Laura Loomer's take. There's another encoded message. When we go back on the gold standard, shoot his ass if he tries to do it. There's so many layers to this. It's disgusting and terrifying. Thank you, Maiden. Maiden said, yeah, it was up. Okay, good. So, I don't know what's going to happen. This could be a whole bunch of wild goose chases and dead canaries. I don't know what the hell it is. I'm probably wrong. Let me kill that screen. Bye-bye. I'm probably wrong. It's probably nothing, okay? I'm not pretending that it's completely real. All I'm saying is, this is how you find out shit. You've got to go into this degree of a deep dive. And I'm probably only going halfway down. You could probably go down a lot deeper. If you want to know, where does Thorne come up with this shit? Because I'm a pattern recognition machine. It's one of the things I do is I follow this shit all day long because I'm concerned and I go, wait a minute. That adds up, that doesn't. And then I just weigh them for a while and I think about them and I say, that's possible. It sounds nuts, but it is possible, isn't it? See, I have an open mind. I'm not a dogmatist on any level. Even the things I'm telling you right now, I am completely open to being wrong. The difference is I'm open to them being right too. I'm not one of these people who goes, you're a Q-tard. There's no way this is true. Otherwise I wouldn't have touched magic. All right, guys, I'm going to calm down. I've been ranting. I had too much caffeine. I think we're going to call it here. But let me ask you guys, I'm not trying to change your minds, okay? That's not my goal. I don't think you guys need your minds changed about anything. I just want to let you guys in on the level of insanity that is going on. It is way bigger than you think it is. It isn't about Trump versus Biden. If you think this is about Trump versus Biden, I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying you haven't looked deep enough yet. If you think this is about Trump against the WEF or something, you still haven't gone deep enough yet. There you go, Be Great Anyway. That's correct. Just Google QAnon and watch what happens. Wall, screen after screen after screen after screen after screen of how it can't be true. Don't you dare look. It's a bunch of racists who love Hitler and like to eat babies. It's all the worst demonizations, ridicule, mockery, and conspiracy theories ever. They're all insane. And of course, you got the guy with the horns on his head is the front page news. But most Q-tards aren't that way. Most of us Anons are not that. All right, maybe we are. Look at what I got going on. But most of us are not that. A lot of them are just good people who have been following this kind of shit for a long time. Yes, there's a lot of flakes. There's a lot of flat earthers. There's a lot of infighting. There's a lots of dum-dums that don't understand. But that's with any movement. There's always rabble, especially when it's fringy. This isn't for everybody. This is for people who have listen, The white hats have learned to weaponize civilian autism in the most benevolent way you can imagine. And it's working. It's an important part of the operation or they wouldn't have done it. You know what kind of a risk it is to put this kind of shit out? If there's any truth to it. It's a calculated risk. They figure we're going to do this to try to get people some inside baseball so they can help us. And they did. Have you guys seen all the times Trump does the Q in the air? It looks nuts. It sounds nuts. I'm not trying to get you to believe it, but I want you to understand, don't give up hope. Because as bad as this is going to look this year, if I am right, this will ultimately evolve into the beginning of humanity's golden age of ascension, where we will reach for the stars. Some of us may live long enough to enjoy life extension, monetary liberation, free energy, an end of pollution, a beginning of an age where poverty begins to be ancient memory. We won't have to depopulate the earth because we'll have the energy and ability to start colonizing space. That's already fucking colonized, by the way. But we'll really do it. Won't be just a few bases here and there. We'll have whole fucking cities. Maybe even starting in your lifetime. I'm not kidding. It might be like the 2060s or something, but some of you will live that long. I hope I do. Although I'd rather quality, not quantity. Remember that. If I make it to 90 without life extension, that'd be dope. If I get to see people, the young people like Asian Kid or any of these people that are in their 20s or something, if I get to see them walking on the moon, living their life free, flying around in space cars and shit, woo! Yeah, I'll be a little jealous, but I get to say I was here and helped make that happen. I agree, Big Red, anyway. I think that really the only thing that is determining the timing of all of this is the degree of crisis reaction solution that the population can take. And I think they've got it really well gamed out. I don't know if this will ever be proven. Here's the wild thing. All of this may come to pass and they may shove it off and be like, no, I know what you're talking about. Q, never heard of it. We just got really lucky. That may be what happens. I don't expect to be vindicated. Do you think I sit here with pentagrams on the wall expecting the world to go, Thorne is this great person who gets everything right? No, I'm here for you guys who are just as crazy as I am. That's all. I don't care if the world likes me or not. I don't really like the world. It's like that Rick and Morty meme, or that from one of the episodes is, your boos mean nothing to me. I see what makes you cheer. That's how I feel half the time. You can boo me if you want. I see what makes you happy. I see what you think is good. That doesn't. Nope. You listen to dog shit farts. I don't care if you like my music. You listen to dog shit farts. You don't have taste. I don't care. Come at me, bro. Don't give a fuck. That doesn't mean haters and trolls don't bother me. I mute them and I delete them just like everybody else. But at the same time, I'm not expecting fame out of this. People are like, Thorne's grifting. Yeah, right. $10 a stream. Thanks. Thank you, by the way, guys who are donating. I'm just saying. You think I'm grifting? I've given up more money than some of you have made to do this. Not because I'm rich, but because I was doing well, and the moment I opened my mouth, it all ended. It came to a screeching halt. And people had the audacity to say to me, well, they just don't like what you're saying. That's a hot fucking lie. Because when I said it, there was no end of people praising me for finally coming out in the open and saying it. If anything, I got more popular and more determined fans for it. So no, I didn't lose fame because I said something nice about Trump in 2020 or because I believed that the election was stolen. That's a very reasonable perspective to have. Even if you don't agree with it, there's enough questionable reasons to ask the question. And I did, and I believe it was. So sue me. Oh, you're damn right, be great anyway. I would be arrested if I was in one of those countries. I wouldn't be in one of those countries. I couldn't live in one of... You think I would last a week of actually living in the... Like, visiting, maybe. Going on vacation, sure. Do you think I would live? Dude, I can barely live on this planet anymore. I can barely tolerate living on this planet. Not because the planet's fucked up, because this fucking infestation of stupid people. And it's not their fault they're stupid, but it still annoys me, to be clear. It's not that I'm sitting here going, oh, they're stupid, it's their fault. No, they're stupid because they were made that way. I've been stupid too. It took me 46 years to figure some of this out. I'm not kidding. It did take me that long. Some of this stuff I'm only getting now. I recognize my stupidity. That's the difference. I'm calling you stupid because I feel stupid. It took me this long. Stupid. What took you so long? It's obvious. All right, guys. I'm playing the asshole. I try to understand. I do this partially as an act. Like, this is me venting, right? This is an act and I'm venting. I am annoyed. I'm annoyed that this has to be this way. Because it really doesn't have to be this way. I was raised on Star Trek, Star Wars, all the same shit you were. Those were my idols. Captain Kirk was my idol. Mr. Spock was my idol. Superman was my idol. Actually, not Superman. Batman was more my idol. I liked the good guys. The darker good guys too, though. But this is not the world that I would have shaped. I want that Star Trek world. I want that world where humanity reaches for the stars. Oh, thank you, Be Greater. I've heard that, actually. See, do you know how many people have told me they go to sleep while I'm ranting with this rage? I've had people, some nice people from Iron Garden, one of the nice guys from there, he told me, he's like, I really love your show. I love everything that you have to say. And something about it, it just relaxes me. I go to sleep. And I'm like, you fall asleep to my voice? And you know what's really funny? I've listened to my own streams and I go, yeah, I am kind of hypnotic. I think it's the cadence of the way I talk. Yes, the Nerta V, the original series is predictive programming. How did you know that that's one of the series that I was going to put on after They Live? In fact, I was going to go with They Live and then V, because V is all about the reptilians, and it's half true. That miniseries V, not the new one, the fucking new one with what's her name? I can't think of her name. She was in Serenity and all that. Not that one. That one's for like millennial dum-dums. You got to watch the original where it is literally telling you what happened. Okay, V, there's two theories about V. V is either what happened to the Nazis or it's what happened after the Nazis left. And Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica has elements of truth in it. The whole thing is built on human mythology from fucking Greek and Roman and Egyptian, and even there's even a Lucifer character. It's built all about our mythology, about this 13th tribe of man that disappeared, and when the Xylons come and kill all the humans and they have to flee, that's where they're going, is to find us, the 13th tribe. 13th tribe of what? Guys, Atlantis. The 12 tribes, the missing 13th tribe. It's all connected. Watch Robert Sepper, he spells it out. The 13th tribe went north in Europe. The tribe of Dan, the Danes, those type of people, the Nordic people. You guys have no idea what has been held from you. You have no idea what they haven't told you. There's so much in your pop culture that is the truth, that is hidden behind symbolism and lies. And I sound completely nuts. I know that. But do you think magic is just waving this around? Using the, oh, you're talking about, that's magic? That's occultism? You think that's what occultism is? Occultism means hidden, jackass. Sorry, I'm doing it again. You're not a jackass, guys. You're not. You're smart. No, occultism is not waving wands around. That's part of it. But true occultism, it's not even about learning mythology. It's about realizing the mythology is rooted in fact. It's about learning that even now, your mythologies are part of the occult. Nope, it's the robes. Exactly, F. Kitty. Nice. It's the robe. The occults are, the robes are. That reminds me of that Zen parable. I forget exactly how. It's like, what does it take to make a Zen monk? And the guy's like 7 pounds because it's 7 pounds of flax. It's pretty funny. Yes, the truth is stranger than fiction. Correct. At least Maiden liked my joke. Cultism means hidden, jackass. It doesn't mean bibbity bobbity boo. It can, because the bibbity bobbity is also occulted. But the bibbity bobbity comes ultimately from what I'm telling you. Do you think the Nazis developed UFOs because they were just so smart? And if you don't know about that, look it up. They hid that from you too. Operation High Jump. They hid that from you too. What do you think the story of the Anunnaki, the Elohim, the Book of Enoch, why do they all basically tell a similar story? What about the story about the wars between Atlantis and Lemuria? What about that? What about Agartha? What about Shambhala? You think there's some reality to that? Dorothy, we are not in Kansas. Toto, we are not in Kansas. We've never been in Kansas, guys. None of us have ever been in Kansas in our lives. You know, your homework, fuck, Dark City. Do you have any idea how Dark City might have some reality? I don't mean in a literal sense. Symbolically, there's truth to Dark City too. Dude, it's everywhere. And it'll drive you up a wall once you see it. You can't relate to human civilization anymore. That's why I put that meme on the meme channel with Big Bird sitting around. Do you know how much of an act it is that I don't believe this stuff that I've been putting on for 5 years as a YouTuber? Do you have any idea how much of this stuff that I was sitting here like, don't talk about it. Just be rational, because it's probably wrong. It's probably not true. I know it seems like it could be, but you know what? Once you start pulling out the brakes, once you start pulling out the stops and you realize where you've been going wrong and where you've been lied to, you start to open your mind to some crazy ideas. And you do have to be careful. This is why on Facebook about a month or two ago, I said, either I am going insane or the truth is a mad God. Because I am believing that the truth is crazy. The truth, if you still believe in this 9 to 5 bullshit, drive a car to work life, you're in the Matrix, brother. You are still a slave, sister. You don't know what you are doing. You are a slave to something you didn't even know had you enslaved. And once you start to see through it, you cannot relate to normal people anymore. I walk in the supermarket, aisle by aisle, and I know how unnatural everything on that shelf is and how bad for me it is. And I have to eat it because otherwise I'd have to do something I can't do, which is learn how to farm. I don't know how to do that. I probably should. I'm better at hunting than I am farming, unfortunately. If you have to pick one, pick farming. Don't pick hunting. You're not gonna easily live off of Huntington, okay? So I walk through the supermarket and I see people, especially the ones with the masks on. And you know what I see? I see people that aren't just plugged in the matrix. They're the ones that are going to have the hardest time getting out of it. Because I want to give you guys some good news on the end of this. Humanity is awake now, enough. Not all of us, but there's enough of us that are awake. There are enough human beings that know what's going on, at least a little bit at this point, that the New World Order, even if I'm wrong about Q, let's give a worst case scenario. Let's pretend Thorne's going off his rocker and he's fallen for some stupid enemy psyop and Q isn't real and Trump's DH is just a Q-tard now and he's lost his mind. I can tell you with wisdom one thing that is irrefutable. Enough people know now that it's over. Whether Trump has the military behind him or not, it is over for the New World Order. Their plan failed. They know it failed. They're getting desperate. If you don't believe the Q thing, you have to realize they're getting desperate because they failed. Too many people know. Too many people suspect. Too many normies are asking questions. The jig is up. And it's only a matter of time before that comes to a climax. Here's why I believe the Q plan is real, because there is no way that any white hat, even if they are just people like us, would be so stupid to think that just waking up the world would be enough. Because those fuckers have access to sci-fi level technology you can't imagine. It would require something biblical to stop them. Because they literally wrote the Bible, parts of it. They created and they collated parts of the Bible to shape the world so that someday they could pull something like this off. If you don't know that, you don't understand the origin of Revelation, the way it was interpreted, why it was interpreted the way it was, because they don't want you to know that it is a ritual. Guys, this may be the most important thing I'm going to say to you. Specifically, Revelation is not a prophecy. It is a ritual. Let me repeat that. Book of Revelation is not a prophecy. It is a ritual. It is a mass ritual for the world. And it has failed. Or it has succeeded and the Messiah has come in the form of liberation of humanity, a pushback. Human beings will not be oppressed anymore. That's the light bringer. That's the Messiah, isn't it? It's just not a man. It's never maybe been a man. Maybe Jesus never existed. Good. That's even better for people like me because that means it's truly liberating. Revelation is not a prophecy. It is a ritual. All right, guys, that's it for this week. If I'm still alive, if YouTube hasn't put a hit out on me for this one, I shall see you next week. Hopefully we won't have so many problems getting this stream off the ground. I was going to go to bed at midnight tonight, but because they screwed me over, I had to stay up. I appreciate all of you who stuck around, who didn't get sick of what I was saying. I noticed some people, as soon as I started getting deep in the Q stuff, disappeared. That's fine. I really appreciate all you guys. I want to make sure the Vegan Patriot gets an extra thank you if any of you guys are still here. Please, again, give her the absolute best from me. I have noticed her and I will watch her channel and see if I like it. And if I do, I want the girl on. Let the girl know that I'm interested. I'm looking for more hosts and more people to join me on here from time to time. I want more friends that have open, patriotic, non-bigoted, good people minds. That's what I want. Thank you, Only Mids. Thank you. Please tell her I'm interested. And I'm going to look. If I liked her content, absolutely. I don't know the link, Mr. Zombie. All I got is the, you know what? All I have is the name. I lost it. It's, oh wait, here we go. You know what? I do have a link. I do have a link. It's a miracle. Miracles have never ceased before. Woo. All right, hold on. I'm a little spazzy tonight because, you know, that whole nonsense knocked me off my game. Part of the reason I was a little testy through this because I was a little annoyed by all that. So that should be her channel. If anybody knows for sure, please confirm or deny that that's the channel. Only Mids, could you please confirm for me, if you don't mind, that that's the right channel? If it is, please check her out. So I'll wait 1 minute to get a reply. What's up, Lucifer? What's going on? Says, hi, DH. You joining me at the end, bro? You got to come in like 2 or 3 hours ago. Just for the record, for those who are new, I stream every Thursday at 10 unless something comes up, which it does occasionally. But my regularly schedule is Thursdays at 10, and occasionally I do some extra stuff. All right, thank you, Mids. Great, that's her. Perfect. All right, now I know who to watch on my side time. All right, so I want you guys to have a beautiful week. I will see you all next week, and unless something happens, of course. If it does, please make sure you're on my Discord and my Guilded so we can stay in touch in case I don't stream. And again, reminder, Saturday night, I am intending to have some kind of a movie and discussion night. Unless something happens, I will announce it Saturday morning, like officially. So if you're on the Discord, you will be invited, and we will watch They Live, and then we'll talk about it. Okay? All right. Whew. All right, I'm losing it. I love you all. Thank you for putting up with my ranty ass. Thank you. And I want you to know, as much as I call you stupid, I don't mean you. You guys are awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, bye. Whee! Oh, wait, that's the wrong button. You know, before, they were shutting my stream down without me even asking. And all right, good night, guys.